Hello, I'm Mr. Tom, and my mission is to take you deep into the heart of terror. Get ready to dive into frightening stories like never before. Put on your headphones and feel the true fear creeping closer as every word echoes in the darkness, making you question what's real. Are you ready for this journey into pure horror? Imagine yourself on an ordinary night, surrounded by friends, laughing, unaware that something dark is lurking, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. The line between what's just a story and what could be real is thinner than you think. Sometimes all it takes is a word, an ill-advised decision, to open doors that should never be opened. What would you do if terror wasn't just fiction? Brace yourself, because what starts as fun can quickly turn into a nightmare you'll never forget. 5 friends, Lucas, Rafael, Mariana, Bruno, and Eduardo, gathered on what seemed like an ordinary evening, but for them, ordinary never meant boring. They all shared a passion: horror. Horror movies, urban legends, and ghost stories were part of their daily conversations. That night, under the bright glow of the full moon, they decided to make the gathering something more. The room was filled with laughter, food, and the glow of their phones lighting up with the latest horror stories. But amidst the jokes and conversations, something different came up. Eduardo, always the most reserved, decided to share a terrifying story from his family. His grandfather used to say, "You can only invite a spirit into your home. It will never enter uninvited." This phrase was repeated so often that it became part of their family's lore. But that night, Eduardo shared more details. His grandfather believed that he had witnessed something terrible in his youth, something that made him believe certain words had the power to open doors to the unknown. The others laughed, skeptical. Who would believe something so absurd? Yet, driven by adrenaline and curiosity, they all made a pact. When they got home, each of them would recite the magic words to invite the unknown in. Lucas, Rafael, Mariana, and Bruno accepted the challenge eagerly. But Eduardo, the grandson who knew the legend well, hesitated. Something about the story felt too real to him, and a deep fear kept him from completing the challenge. The night went on, and one by one, the friends returned to their homes. Lucas was the first to arrive, laughing at the situation. He recited the words at his front door, a slight shiver running down his spine. Just the wind, but Rafael, the boldest of the group, practically dared the unknown, shouting the words outside, not believing anything would happen. Mariana and Bruno, with nervous laughter, followed the challenge, but wouldn't admit their unease. Finally, Eduardo stood frozen in his living room, staring at the door, unable to say the words his grandfather had so often warned him never to utter. Hours passed, and while they were all at home, the jokes continued in the group chat. "Your grandpa's legend is just that, a legend," Lucas wrote. Another replied with a funny ghost meme, but the fun wouldn't last long. At 4 a.m., the terror began to manifest. Lucas woke up to a faint sound, like a whisper, coming from somewhere far away. Trying to understand where it came from, he started noticing shadows moving rapidly around his room. Panic began to settle in as heavy footsteps echoed down the hallway. Lucas knew he was alone, but he could no longer believe it. Meanwhile, Rafael was startled awake by slow knocks against his bedroom window. When he looked, he saw a dark figure standing outside, staring at him intently. His heart raced, and when he blinked, the figure had vanished. Trembling, he tried to convince himself it was all in his mind. But the knocks resumed, louder and closer each time. Mariana awoke feeling the air growing heavier. An oppressive weight made it hard for her to breathe. She felt watched, but when she looked around, she saw nothing. However, presence was real and terrifying. Every movement felt drained of energy, as if something was stealing her life force. Meanwhile, Bruno was ripped from sleep by a horrific scream, echoing throughout the house. He jumped out of bed, panicked, trying to find the source of the sound, but it seemed to come from all directions. His ears rang and his heart pounded wildly in his chest. He grabbed his phone and tried to send a message. "Something is wrong." But the message was never delivered. All the lights went out, and he found himself alone in the dark, surrounded by invisible terror. However, the terror wasn't just outside. Lucas, who initially thought he was imagining things, felt something cold and icy touch his skin. He turned, but there was nothing there. Raphael, now trembling, began locking doors and windows, feeling pursued, watched. Mariana, desperate, locked herself in the bathroom, believing that would be the only safe place. But the terror was in every corner, in every shadow. The terror was now inside their homes. This story began as a simple joke, but the terror is real. Eduardo, the only one who didn't complete the challenge, woke up to find out that the other 4 had disappeared. They invited something that should never have been called. Police started searching after the friends went missing, and one by one, they were found dead in different parts of the city. There were no security cameras, no signs of struggle, yet each had met a horrific end. Lucas was found in a dark alley near his home, his face frozen in pure terror. Raphael was discovered in an abandoned parking lot, his chest torn open, with the words, "Never invite a spirit into your home," carved into his skin. Mariana was found in a city park, her body lying between bushes, with bloodied words scrawled nearby, "They'll still be there after you." Bruno was found on a deserted road, far from his home, curled up as if he had been hiding from something, with a stone nearby engraved with "Never." The police started searching after the friends went missing, and one by one, they were found dead in different parts of the city. There were no security cameras, no signs of struggle, yet each had met a horrific end. Lucas was found in a dark alley near his home, his face frozen in pure terror. Raphael was discovered in an abandoned parking lot, chest torn open, the words, "Never invite a spirit into your home," carved into his skin. Mariana was found in a city park, her body lying between bushes, with bloodied words scrawled nearby, "They'll still be there after you." Bruno was found on a deserted road, far from his home, curled up as if he had been hiding from something, with a stone nearby engraved with "Never." The police called Eduardo in for questioning, as he was the last to see them. But Eduardo had a solid alibi. He had stayed home with his parents that night. The most unsettling part? Every victim's body bore the same message, a warning that directly pointed to the story Eduardo had shared. Never invite a spirit into your home. They'll still be there after you. If stories like this make your heart race, you're in the right place. Subscribe to the channel and join our community of horror lovers. But beware, some doors, once opened, can never be closed.